You're watching NBC News Channel 11 Nightside.
Good evening and thanks for watching Nightside. I'm Elisa Rivas. Our top story tonight, a Marine FA-18 Delta attack jet crashed in the middle of the Barry M. Goldwater Range around 3 o'clock this afternoon, and both pilots ejected safely and were taken to YRMC. The cause of the incident is under investigation by the Miramar Marine Corps Air Station in San Diego. That's where the aircraft and crew originated from. The pilots were practicing Soviet-style tactics with a fixed wing attack fighter squad from MCAS Yuma. This is the military's first jet crash of the new year. Well, a fire on Sunday leaves a Yuma family without a home tonight and rebuilding their lifelong dream.
The whole house, just the whole back wall exploded. I've never been through anything like this before, and I just wanted my daughter. I wanted to make sure that we were safe.
For Angela Scott and her family, fire destroyed a year's worth of work and a lifelong dream in only a moment. Their trailer home on Madison Avenue in Yuma was lost Sunday in a late afternoon fire. Tonight, we talked to Scott Spencer about their move to Yuma 1 year ago.
So we came to Yuma to get away from California, with the family, to get away from all the gangs and stuff like that, to make a better life.
A better life is all they can hope for now, after a fire took even the gifts they'd just gotten for Christmas.
It's the first time I spent Christmas with my mom in like 5 years, and she bought things for the baby that are gone now. Everything's gone,
Thanks
you know,
the
the pictures are gone, everything. You know, this is what we have left.
But in their hearts, they know this is not all they have left.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have both of them with me. That's my concern, and I'm thankful.
If you would like to help Angela and Spencer Scott and their daughter Cheyenne, they have an account set up and it's called the Angela Scott Donation Fund. It's at the AEA Federal Credit Union. The number is 26855 and that will be for monetary donations. Well, California's Department of Transportation denies the Calexico City Council's request to make Highway 98 a safer road. Calexico's request came after the tragic death of a 13-year-old girl who was hit by a minivan as she crossed that highway. Her friend was also hit in that accident. Calexico City Council made several recommendations to Caltrans and even asked for a temporary stop sign. The Caltrans says that if 85% of traffic is going above the speed limit, then they will raise it. Well, a man was injured today out near the foothills after rolling his truck. It happened at Highway 95 and Avenue E at about 3 o'clock. If you take a look at the video, we can see that there was extensive damage to the truck. The 32-year-old driver was taken to YRMC with back injuries. Well, more people are battling the flu this year than in years past. So what can you do to make sure you don't get it? Is the flu shot the answer? It may very well be, especially if you're older than 65, younger than 3 years, or if you have a chronic illness. In recent studies, it shows that over 70% of people who get the flu shot have not gotten the flu. The peak time to save yourself from getting the flu is between the months of October and November. So if you've been one of the lucky ones so far, is it too late to still get that flu shot?
It's not too late. We expect to see this run for a few more months so they can get the shot from their family doctor, and it'll take about 2 weeks for it to be effective.
Well, because this flu year has been especially bad, not only in the U.S. but across the world, NBC News will designate Wednesday for day-long coverage of fighting the flu. And now that the holidays are over, do you feel a little bit let down? If so, you might have a case of the post-holiday blues. And believe it or not, it's a phenomenon that's more common than you might think.
Most of December we're extremely busy with shopping and cleaning the house, getting ready for relatives to be there, and just the general running around, going to school programs, those kinds of things. And suddenly Christmas is over and we don't have anything to look forward to.
Evan says to get over the blues, make sure you get enough sleep, exercise, fresh air, and sunlight. Well, it's January, and that means it is the right time to get sick. Many people are stocking up on over-the-counter medications and even saving old prescription drugs. But is this a safe option? NBC News Channel 11's Deanne Donnelly decided to find out.
You to take expired drugs when you start to feel a little under the weather?
But for most cases, you know, several months beyond that is still fine. You're still getting enough of the active medication that it's going to take care of whatever problem that you have.
Now, that doesn't mean that self-diagnosis is acceptable. You should always consult your physician before taking any expired prescription drug.
The expiration date does tell you that most of that medication is going to be expired or deteriorated enough that you won't be getting the active ingredient.
It's important to clean out your medicine cabinet at least twice a year. Look for expired medications and then throw them away. Or better yet, simply flush them down the toilet. So what should you be cautious of?
The main concern is liquids that may be around for too long, may have evaporated to the point that the concentration is actually more than what it should be.
So just to be safe, buy more medication that you know is up to date. Deanne Donnelly, NBC News, Channel 11.
Some more advice if you want to stay safe, don't ever switch packaging or take any drug out of its original container. While blood supplies are critically low in the Imperial Valley, all blood types are needed for donations. This time of year usually meets a plummet in the supply, but the flu epidemic put an extra strain on that supply. Last week, an Imperial Valley patient had to put off a blood transfusion.
There has been a case where people who have needed blood, maybe not in an emergency situation, have been asked to put off the transfusion for a couple of days. We aren't to the point yet where we are canceling elective surgeries, but unless the blood supply improves tremendously in the next few days, few weeks, we may have to do that.
And if you would like to help out, a blood drive is going on Wednesday and Thursday from 1 to 7 at Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District in Raleigh. Well, let's go to Carlos Ford now. He has a first look at our weather forecast. Carlos?
Well, Lisa, we're 10 days into January, which is normally our coolest month. And I'll tell you what, our temperatures aren't getting as cool as they could be right now. It's 57 in Yuma. Imperial Valley is 50. And I'll have a complete forecast and tell you how cool it will be getting in about 11 minutes. Back to you, Elisa.
All right, thank you, Carlos. Well, up next on Nightside, the curtain's down in a local theater, and can a little sunshine improve your child's academic performance? We'll have that story for you. You're watching NBC News Channel 11, where news comes first.
It's here. You've been waiting, and they've arrived. And in all the colors of the rainbow, you can't count them all. The brand new Chevrolet Silverado. You're the first in the valley to drive down your street enjoying the biggest extended cab, bigger than the Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram, and the most powerful V8 and the strongest frame ever offered on a Chevy pickup. Its 15-function Smart Drive Message Center will tell you just how great your Silverado is performing. Come in today for a test drive. You'll drive home happy from Direct Auto Plaza, Freeway 8 at 4th Street, El Centro.
Get a new 99-cent spicy chicken sandwich from Carl's Jr. And make sure you've got something to drink.
I think I'm the real decorator.
I might get to a range, where a plant might sit, but that's about it.
I think that Walmart has really changed their home section in general.
It's more fashionable.
This is really cute.
Favorite things.
But yeah, it's definitely a noticeable difference, the favorite things brand.
I like the colors. The colors are all bright and cheery.
Do you want to get a throw pillow? My favorite color for the house is blue. All right, I'll let you have an opinion about the placemats. I always want his opinion anyway. At least to hear what he has.
Use it.
Yeah.
A baby changes everything. How you do your taxes, what you buy, everything. The free Consumer Information Catalog can help with more than 200 free and low-cost federal booklets. Call toll-free 1-888-8-PUEBLO and help is on the way.
As the first Arizona legislative session of the century got underway this morning in Phoenix, hundreds gathered to hear the issues the governor will be focusing on for the new year. NBC News Channel 11's Koshal Patel joins us with more on today's State of the State address. Koshal?
Elisa, Governor Hall started out on a positive note, commending the fantastic economy, low inflation and unemployment. She attributed Arizona's success partially to tax cuts that are unmatched by any other state in the country. Her main concerns for this year, education and students first, growing smarter, which is the management of growth in cities, and using the tobacco settlement dollars for children and health care. Arizona State Senator Herb Gunther met with Governor Hall earlier this week to discuss some of the things they're working on for Yuma County.
Need for the juvenile detention funding, especially as this last phase, which is where Yuma County will get their funding for their juvenile detention facilities, and the need, she vetoed that last session. because of a principle and how we're going to restore that. And then we also talked about growing smarter and the need to bring the rural counties along.
Now Arizona already has 80,000 acres in the preservation of pipeline and more on the way. And later on this week, the governor will be signing an order to preserve an additional 9,000 acres of desert in North Phoenix. Hull adds this is a growing smarter in action. Elisa?
All right, thank you very much, Kushal. Well, 2 contracts for new buildings in Yuma County went out to 2 different Phoenix companies awarded by the Yuma County Board of Supervisors. The first contract was for $14,500 to the DLR Group. They'll come up with a conceptual design and cost estimates for a new Yuma County juvenile detention and possible court administration facility. The second contract was for a proposed Yuma County Justice Complex. It was for $30,000 to $40,000 and went to Durant. Durant's contract calls for it to come up with a conceptual design and cost estimates. Both estimates are due back to the board within 60 days, and the board still hasn't decided how to fund either of those proposed projects. Well, is your high school student fretting about the Ames test? And do the nation's teachers make the grade? Here's tonight's education news. Some news on the education front has many people talking today. That's because the U.S. Education Secretary says there is a serious shortage of qualified teachers. He estimates there are 250,000 teachers in U.S. classrooms who don't have proper training. But in Yuma, this doesn't appear to be a problem at all. In fact, of the 80 teachers nominated for Teacher of the Year, half are graduates from NAU. And more than 700 kids in Somerton got a belated Christmas present this morning. They didn't have to unwrap anything. They simply opened the doors to their new classrooms. The Somerton School District postponed the opening of Tierra del Sol because of a mold problem. But half a school year later, a third of the district's little treasures got to walk through its hallways. Student Laura Casillas explains why this school is better than before.
This is a new school. The other school is an old school. The hallway was outside, and this is inside. We have a new playground. Everything's new here, and everything over there is old.
Glad they finally got to move in. And the Ames test is all the buzz today in Arizona. The State Board of Education is taking another look at the new high school graduation test. At the board's November meeting, you may recall a number of people cried out against the first round of Ames math scores, saying the test was just too tough. The assistant superintendent of Yuma Union High School District explains.
And 11% of the students statewide master it at a minimum level. I think that's a cause for concern. The other side of that is it was a pilot test. It was a field test of a test that was being proposed to see where we were in terms of preparing a test that would adequately determine whether or not our students have mastered the standards.
Well, does sunlight make it easier to learn? According to a recent study, students who work in sunlit classrooms learn faster and score higher on standardized tests compared to students in artificial lighting. The study finds elementary students in classrooms with more natural light scored up to 26% higher on standardized tests in reading and up to 20% higher in math. One local school teacher believes in the study, and she says Roosevelt Elementary takes full advantage of using natural light.
So it has these huge windows in every classroom. The temporary buildings and the kindergarten buildings have lights that go, windows that go all the way around the top. They don't have them down really low, but they do have natural light coming in all the time.
Officials say the report confirms both students and teachers feel and perform better in classrooms with large windows or good skylights. Well, after 8 years of movies, popcorn, and soda pop, the owner of 2 local movie theaters is calling it quits. Elisa Ortiz has more.
No more posters, no more movie titles. You won't see any more movies coming to this theater.
We just have to make the decision that we can no longer afford to stay open.
Today, the last of the sodas, cups, and lids were picked up. This snack bar is closed. After 8 years, the Gallery Cinemas, Inc. has closed the doors of the Fox and Crest theaters in downtown El Centro. The owner tells me these buildings have been around for more than 60 years.
Over the last 9 months, business had dropped off due to increased competition in the valley.
Sales have dropped 50% since the Calexico 10 theaters opened in March. The Fox and Crest theaters just couldn't compete.
Ours are considerably older and I like to say tired. And so it's...
Well, Snellenberg says this year, Christmas ticket sales were significantly lower than last Christmas, and they had no choice but to close their doors. Well, coming up next on Nightside, it's chilly out there. Carlos Bora will tell you just how cool it will get tonight. You're watching NBC News Channel 11, where news comes first.
This portion of NBC News Channel 11 is brought to you by American Family Insurance.
I'm a voice teacher. Because I'm self-employed, I needed to find my own health insurance.
Helen Cece put together a health insurance plan with her American Family agent.
I like American Family's health insurance plan because it lets me choose my own doctor, my own hospital, my deductible, and I can afford it. American Family's the best. Simply the best.
All your protection under one roof.
American Family Insurance.
Look at that. Staples has overnight delivery.
Ah, let me see.
Wow, you're right. Hey, look.
Guaranteed low prices. Slow down. Staples delivers.
And you can order online. This traffic's terrible. Yep. It's like this every single day. That's really weird.
Need office products delivered overnight? Yeah, you got that. Call 1-800-STAPLES.
And the winner of this year's Hamburger Vanguard Award is...
Jack, we won't make it till you order it.
Wow, you know, you dream about this, but wow. So many people to thank. Big thanks to my crew for making We Won't Make It Till You Order It such a huge success. Okay, just give me a second. To my dear wife, I love you. Thank you, Terry Graham, Bob Lacrosse, Margaret Barretto, Bill Hopkins, and the whole We Won't Make It Till You Order It team. Thanks to our guests. Back up!
New year, a new century, and a brand new start. Her daughter was murdered, what this mother couldn't do for 10 years until today. Imagine how courageous this is. He killed her father.
You don't control me anymore.
And now, just days before his own execution, she has a final message for him. He kept a dark secret for 57 years. Do you realize what you just did for every person who is living this shame? Next, Oprah.
Well, you could definitely use a jacket outside tonight, but not too bad. I mean, it's really pretty comfortable outside right now.
Yeah, it's not dropping as fast as it lately has been, but by the time you wake up in the morning, there's no doubt it will definitely be jacket time. Now, right now, you can see what I'm talking about. There's mostly cloudy sky, or mostly clear skies in Yuma. Wind is very calm, and it's only 57 degrees. Normally at this time of night, it's been getting a lot cooler, but that will be dropping down to the low 40s as we go through now. Humidity is 32%, dew point 27, and the barometer is rising at 30.04. And in the Imperial Valley, it is mostly clear skies, calm winds, and the temperature is 50, so it's at least on the way down over there like normal, but generally it'd be about the mid 40s by right about now. Look at that humidity, 54%, so it's quite a bit higher, and that's because the temperature is getting so low. The air can only hold so much, so therefore the humidity, of course, is a lot higher now. Today in Yuma, we were a little bit above our average temperatures, but basically just hovering right around there. That's where we're going to be over the next few days. The Imperial Valley, it was also just a little bit above our average temperatures, and we will see that walking, just bouncing up slightly over the next days. Now, this is the Parashant Valley, and President Clinton is expected tomorrow to establish several new national monuments, and this is going to be one of the new monuments. This is just north of the Grand Canyon, and it's a wonder out there, and of course that will allow, it will not allow any mining or any construction to go out there. There will be hunting allowed still, but that is a really big event to take place out there and just protect 1 million more acres out just to the north of us. Now, right now what's taking place is there's a lot of moisture moving into the Pacific Northwest. We don't have to worry about it for us over here because there's some high pressure that's just keeping us very nice and clear and just bouncing it. Now, it is bouncing into Utah right now. They had a few inches of snow in Salt Lake City today and in Colorado, and you can see that it's just not making it south of the border over here. So there's really no flakes that are going to be flying into the Grand Canyon or Sedona if you happen to be going out there. Now, the rest of the country, it's basically very mild on the southern half. High pressure is pretty much in control, and it's up into the northern plains where there's a very It's a dry, active system right now that's moving through the area. Doesn't have a whole lot of moisture to work with, and it's not that cold either. In fact, right now, it is only 32 degrees in Minnesota. Normally at this time of year, it's a lot cooler. Kalamazoo, Michigan, it's 41, and temperatures at this time usually are a lot cooler, so this is, no doubt about it, a very strong La Niña event taking place. Only when you get up into the further, say, North Dakota and northern South Dakota do you get dropping into the single digits. Now, tomorrow our forecast will be calling for high pressure over the southern part of the United States, including us, should be very nice and mild. The Clipper will be moving its way towards the east into Maine. Maybe there'll be some snow showers moving into a little cold front brushing past into Florida, not really bringing a whole lot of moisture. The big weather event for tomorrow will be a lot of moisture going into the Pacific Northwest. Looks like those folks out there will be dealing with rain over the next week as far as we can see. Now for us, it should be very, very nice. Yuma will be dropping down to about 43 degrees. Imperial Valley, 37. Cooler in the outlying areas because there's no wind out there to mix up the air. It'll be getting a little bit cooler. Tomorrow we'll be bouncing up a little bit higher than we were today. Yuma should get up to about 72, Imperial Valley 73, and over the next 5 days we will see some high clouds streaming through the area. Those are just remnants of what's going on to the north of us, and we're not really seeing any chance at rain coming our direction over the next 5 days at least.
All right, thanks very much, Carlos. Yes. Farm Director George Gatley shows us how ag scientists are using biocontrol to control red imported fire ants.
Fire ants, a tiny pest with a ferocious sting. They're spreading. Until recently, red imported fire ants occupied about 300 million acres in 12 southern states and Puerto Rico. Now they've become established in Arizona, California, New Mexico. U.S. Department of Agriculture scientists in Gainesville, Florida, have found new ways to keep fire ants in check.
The disease, Phyllohenia solenopsis, is a microsporidian, a small protozoan that infects fire ant colonies. It was discovered in Brazil in fire ant colonies there. It slowly debilitates the colony by reducing the weight of the colony queen. As she becomes smaller and smaller, she lays fewer and fewer eggs, and eventually the colony dies out. We have not found it in any other ants, and we have not found it in anything else. It does not affect plants, and it does not affect animals, just fire ants, the imported fire ant.
Fire ants are thought to have spread to the United States from South America by contaminated ships in the early 1930s. Since then, their spread has been slow, but it's steady.
And the reason that they're spreading is that when they left their homeland in South America, they left all of their natural control agents back there. They simply overwhelmed our native ant species. And the native ant species still have all of these diseases and these predators and parasites acting on them. The fire ants don't. What we hope to do with our research is to bring up these pathogens, predators, and parasites to reduce the fire ant population in the United States so that it is at much, much lower levels and the native ants can compete with it on an even playing field.
Since the first release of Phyllohenia in Florida in 1998, it has spread to more than 75% of the fire ant colonies the scientists are monitoring. But the scientists say it will take longer to see a major impact on fire ant populations. George Gatley, NBC News Channel 11.
And George says Arizona officials have red imported fire ants under control here in Yuma. Now let's toss to Jim Howell. He is in our Yuma newsroom for what's on the way in sports. Jim?
Hey, Lisa, the chase for the puck could nab first place for the Coyotes. The chase for birdies could land a Yuman a PGA tournament title. And the chase for defense could hopefully stop a losing skid at AWC. More on that next.
RVers, listen to this. The largest new and used RV liquidation sale ever made available to the public has hit the Yuma County Fairgrounds. Hundreds of new RVs available for open bidding. Every new motorhome, trailer, fifth wheel, and luxury diesel is ready for this one-time special to the public. Bank and factory wraps are ready for immediate sale. Friends, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to purchase a new factory warranted 98, 99, 2000 model at below industry pricing. It's huge. Hurry to the Yuma County Fairgrounds. Don't you miss it.
Hunter Employment Services. Hunter, here's where your success begins. We're here to help you make sure the job gets done. We can fill your employment needs. Hunter is the one. Hunter Employment Services, empowering employment partnership.
everyone, it's Terrific Tuesday on NBC News Channel 11, and if you're looking to get crafty, this is the perfect time to do it. We're making Memory Box.
This is a new feature, so tune in. Plus, if you like to exercise, we're going to tell you about a big event that's coming up that'll show you how to stay in shape, plus raise money for kids.
Very worth it for sure. We're also going to tell you how to battle those holiday blues.
And George is finally going to give us the answer to the question that most of us have been dying to know about.
What's that?
The meaning of life. We'll tell you all about it tomorrow.
Right here on Today.
Jim Howell joins us for sports and starts with AWC women's basketball, maybe on the upswing?
Yeah, hopefully. A tale of 2 seasons, and right now they want to get that second season over with. Winning the first 8 games of the season did bring a smile to the face of AWC head women's basketball coach Patrick Cunningham, but it was a small one. After being an assistant for a very successful Yavapai program in Prescott, he'd been through enough wars to realize the battle doesn't even start in the first 8 games. He was right. The Lady Mats had lost 7 of 8 going into tonight, but Waukesha from Wisconsin kindly provided some relief for Mr. Cunningham and some chances for great defense. Stephanie Chavez, the SWAT, even better. Look at that one from Elena Messenger, the SWAT and the control, and even better than that. Vanessa Camacho, the steal, the wheel, the deal, 29 points for Camacho. And AWC takes out some frustrations and then some as they win it big by 27. On the pro side, the Lakers streak just keeps growing, and theirs is on the upside. 14 in a row going into tonight against old friend Nick Van Exel and Denver. Michael Jordan in the house, so Kobe put on a show. Van Exel, the air ball on one end, and there's Bryant cherry picking, so it's showtime. Take that one, Air Jordan. And then on the end of the first half, time running out, 35 feet, ready, aim, fire for 3. Bryant could not miss. 27 points in the first half alone for number 8, and the Lakers are breezing into the third quarter, and they are up by 31. On the links, shoot a 68 in Yuma, you've probably won your foursome. Won a bunch of skins, won a couple of hundred in a tournament. If you're a human shooting a 68 in Phoenix, all you win is a chance to compete in a tournament. Sound like a raw deal? Well, James Contreras will disagree with you. His 68 last week at the Southwest Section PGA qualifier meant accomplishing something he hasn't been able to do in several tries. Qualify for the Phoenix Open in 2 weeks. The former Kofa King and AWC Matador duffer was one of only 2 that made the cut at last week's qualifier in Scottsdale, so Contreras qualifies. He now works as a golf pro in Tucson. If you retire, we understand, but if you stay, we can't pay you your normal rate. That's the equation set in front of Steve Young and Jerry Rice. While rumors swirl that both will be asked to retire, the Niners have announced that, to no one's surprise, several veterans, including those 2, have been asked to take pay cuts just so that the Niners can make the salary cap and reduce their terribly overblown payroll. On the ice, the Coyotes haven't played great of late, but a win tonight means ouch. Cutting Dallas and San Jose out of the first place tie. Duran Quint, yes, ye of the power play tour, able to give them a 2-1 lead, but not enough. Bill Muckalt just keeps on chugging and able to get it off the rebound to send it into OT and to send it to a kiss your sister tie. Parting shot tonight is just how competitive Texas high school football can be. Adam Johnson just couldn't do better than junior varsity quarterback for Capel High School in Texas this past season. Forgive him, he's only a sophomore. But he found a way to improve his stock long after the football season is over, because if he can be this accurate with a basketball from that distance, I think he deserves a shot at varsity next year, don't you? Problem is, he didn't help the basketball team. Sorry, Adam, that shot just doesn't count if you're not in bounds. Here's your scores coming now. Just took out the drama. You wanted to see that again,
I know, I did. That was a great play.
Full court shot.
All right, thank you, Jim. Well, up next, what will your kids be playing with next year at this time? We'll take you to a toy fair that offers a sneak peek. You're watching NBC News Channel 11, where news comes first.
fought at the Battle of Midway and the invasion of Normandy. They fought at Iwo Jima and Guadalcanal. Back home, they held rivet guns and rolled bandages, and they were all heroes. The Walmart associates touched by World War II are just some of the 16 million Americans who helped save our freedom. Sadly, there's no national monument to their sacrifice. Bring your donations to Walmart, and let's help build the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. There's no memorial yet, but together, we can change that.
We should make this solemn commitment that every child will be educated. As president, I will give states and local school districts more authority and flexibility and encourage them to measure results for every child. I will challenge failure with charters and choice. And I will change Head Start to teach our youngest children phonics and reading. Every child must be educated because there are no second-rate children and no second-rate dreams.
It's the beat of a different drummer. Lease Dodge Intrepid now for just $269 a month.
Well, a dazzling array of the toys of the future was the theme for a convention opening today in Hong Kong. More than 1,500 toy companies hawked their wares at the 2000 Hong Kong Toys and Games Fair. It's the third biggest show of its kind in the world, and buyers come from around the world to get the best deals on what they hope will be the year's hottest toys. I can't imagine that being a hot toy. But for most people, the fair, business, and politics are taking a backseat to the sheer fascination that goes along with seeing the newest toys on the block. That beetle is not going to replace Pokemon, I don't think.
It won't be in my stocking, no.
All right. That's going to do it for now. Jay Leno is next.
Good night.
To the massive show that everyone's been waiting for.